What's going on? Mm, let's see. Let's see. Let's try. Hmm. Oh. Mm, mm, mm. Wait a minute. Shit. What happened? I switched over. Uh-huh. And then plug it in. And then connect it. Let's go to YouTube, see if it's showing up. Mm. Coming up. Mm. What's going on? Mm. Okay. See something. Maybe it's poor internet. I got good 5G. Hmm. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to YouTube, see what's going on. Yeah, there it is. Battlefield. Hmm. Wait a minute. History, playlist, your videos, Battlefield reset. I don't see what's going on. Session showing live. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's got too many things open. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. This, that, that. Mm, you might need that. I need to close this. Mm, okay. I don't know. Hello, friends, enemies, strangers, kind mothers. So I'm here walking the dog. I'm going home. He already pooped. Oh, oh yeah, okay. I'm thinking. So I just came out of Plato's cave and it was on Nietzsche. So it talked about Beyond Good and Evil, his book, a bit. And so I heard that somewhere in stanza, whatever, 160 something, I forget. It says something, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of what one does for love goes beyond good and evil. Hmm, I don't know. So I came up with an idea. So I asked, what does he mean by good and evil? Mhm. And then beyond good and evil. So I get the idea that maybe good and evil is like the conventional rules of a society that maybe it's given to us through religion or propaganda or education, and going beyond that maybe involves realizing that we have to figure it out for ourselves, sort of, at every moment, and there's no straightforward rules that will work in every situation. So you sometimes you have to bend the rules, break the rules sometimes. So there's rules that you could say compose what is good and what is evil. And so it doesn't always work that way. Now playing, imagine that you have having a dream and you're playing a game of football. And so you lined up your team is ready to hike, and the other team is the evil ones that we're fighting again. Uh, uh, so then suddenly there's a timeout. Mhm. And you're asked to get all your players. You're the quarterback, and you're told, or maybe the referee or umpire, no, whoever's got the striped shirt and the whistle calls a timeout. Not sure why they would do that. It's let's say it's a test. Let's say that it was reported to the official that there's somebody that shouldn't be there, and we're looking for that someone. Maybe the police is looking for one of the players. Let's say whatever it is, could be something else. But we're asked. All the players are asked. Not even you have to tell your players to take your helmets off. To stand up and take your helmets off. And the players on the other team are also asked to do the same by their team captain because it was suggested by the referee so that everyone, ooh, well, the dog's pooping again. How about that? So everyone gets to look at, well, and particularly you get to see who's on the other side, and you know pretty much who's on your side as you've been training with them and preparing for this day. It's an important match, an important event, important competition, an important game. Yes, so everyone's got their helmets off, and you can see everyone's face, or you can walk between the teams. You can look to your right. Let's say that your team is on the right, and so you can see they're standing in a line, and you can see their faces, and facing them on the left, you see the other team. See the other team and their faces. You discover something amazing. You know all the people on their side too. They're like brothers and sisters to you. So how would that affect how would that affect your play after that? Like before, you didn't know anybody on their team, and now you know everybody on their team. And it so happens that you know them personally. They're like your brothers and sisters, and cousins and aunts and uncles and grandfathers and grandparents and nieces and nephews and grandchildren, grandchildren. They're on the other side. Well, you know your team well too. They're like your brothers and sisters. But on the other side, they're also your brothers and sisters. Wow. Hmm. Because you've been preparing for this competition by you were motivated to to play this competition, motivated to play to win, and to see the opposite team as your enemy. You're the evil ones. They've been evil. They've done you wrong. You even want revenge. Then you get them to take their helmets off, and you see that, oh my gosh, they're they're family to me, cousins. Let's say, if not brothers. They're but cousins that you think of them as brothers. Oh wow, look at them and say, wow, this person helped me when I was young. Or my uncle, he helped me when I was young. He taught me this and that. Taught me how to play football and things like that. So you start feeling hmm, uh, uh, attachment towards them. Feelings of attachment. You could say feelings of attachment towards that you didn't. Maybe maybe you knew who they were actually before them taking their helmets off, but you were so focused on winning the match that you thought of them as evil, as the team to beat. It's a matter of life and death. You, if you defeat them, then the kingdom is yours. If you lose to them, then they will be a disgrace, and they will own you, and you will lose a lot. Mm, let's see. But now, now that you realize who they are, in the middle of when you're about to hike, you're stopped to look at who's on the other side, and you see, wow, uh, these people I know very well. I know them so well. I can't, I can no longer think of them as evil as the other side, the ones to be defeated, the ones that with all my might I've been training to defeat them over much time. I've thought of them as less than human, but now they're human. So what did I do? Well, I guess I'm trying to get that that could be a situation that happens during wars. That you realize the humanity, the other, the others are just like you. Yeah, and like the Civil War. The song by Bob Dylan. John Brown, he went to war, and then he is about to kill an opponent, and he looked at him and said, "Wow, this person is just like me." Oh no, no, he says that, but I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. So he's telling his mother what happened, and he says that he was like my brother. He looked just like me. He could have been me. So I was trained to kill. But the person I'm about to kill looks just like me. So that's the situation. I'm trying to create a modern day situation here for fans of football in the United States. So maybe folks in India would not get this. Maybe they could use an analogy or an alternate scenario using cricket or something else. I don't know, or soccer maybe. No, what other sports do they play in India? That are kind of warrior like. Or maybe playing a game of chess where, well, your opponent actually. Your opponent is doing the same thing you are, and it's a one-on-one situation. So it's, but I guess you don't. When you're playing a game of chess, you don't think about the pieces. You're just using them. But in this scenario, you're going to be using. the pieces as the quarterback, you're going to be using your own pieces against the opposite team's pieces. So the your team is supposed hmm, to tackle or to block or whatever is your function and your position, and and so there should not be any hard feelings, right? Because the players in a football game are trained to not get attached to players on the opposite team. Uh, hmm, you're supposed to even demean them. I wonder if you could still play the game without demeaning them somewhat, or maybe you could play the game just as well without demeaning them, making them less than human, or perhaps you appreciate them because they're just like me, and they've been hired to do the job, the duty, the dharma. So there's nothing personal about it. So in a way, perhaps in the case of the Bhagavad Gita, the dharma would be the duty or your position as a quarterback or whatever other position you have on a team, and you're supposed to do it professionally. So that's what dharma is all about in this case. Doing things professionally and not getting distracted or attached to what's going on in in personalities in persons that are involved. Because in such a game as football, there's really there's really not supposed to be persons. You're hired to do a job, and your personhood is is gotten out of the way. There's something above your personhood, and perhaps that could be called your teamhood, your tribe, your family. But then in the Gita, the situation is a little bit more complicated because they take their helmets off or they look at each other, or and particularly Arjuna looks at the other team, the faces of of the members of the other side, and realizes that wow, they're practically family. He grew up with these people, and he's supposed to slay them, and and so it's a little bit more difficult than a regular game of sport where where you have all these rules that are designed to make it fair for the teams. Perhaps there's a there's a tournament involved that eliminates the weaker teams and allows for the best teams to end up in the final so that it's evenly matched. So having the teams be evenly matched is something good for both teams, as it's supposed to raise the level of their play. Hmm. In the case of the Bhagavad Gita, it's a little bit more complicated than that because uh, it's more serious. It's a matter of life and death. It involves slaying uh, people until there's until one team is left standing and the other is annihilated. So to do that, as long as maybe as long as the perhaps at least the captain of the team, like the king of the team, like in a game of chess, as long as the king of the team is left standing and is not captured or not put into checkmate, then you can determine that way who's going to be the winner. Eventually, you have a finite game going on, and I get that the Mahabharata is is in such a scenario that involves uh, two teams facing off, and, and there should be, and there shall be, and there was an outcome, a finite outcome in this game. Hmm. But right now, I've been looking at the the point right around when they're they're tooting their horns and they're shooting their arrows, but then there's a sudden timeout. It involves Arjuna taking a look at the faces of those on both sides of the people involved on both sides, particularly on the opposite team. And it seems like he would have known who were on the opposite team. Maybe he suppressed that knowledge so that he would be in the have the motivation to fight them because it was crucial that he would fight them because the war came to this the 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 series of events culminated in this situation. So he needed to suppress his attachments to those uh, on the uh, on the opposite side. Hmm. Ah, it's the see. Oh well, I could go on, but those are just my thoughts right now. So maybe I could stop here and listen to them and then write them down. Or maybe I could get on a computer and get the transcript. Yeah, because I gotta use it to turn in a report. So I'm very lazy. So whatever helps me helps me. Hmm. Or maybe I write it down from memory, listening it twice. It would help me if I could get on YouTube and save the transcript. It's automatically generated. I don't know. We'll see. Well, may this help somebody. What did I? Oh, so what's love got to do with this? Oh, okay. So I'm thinking that, yeah, beyond good and evil. So yes, the Bhagavad Gita seems to involve good and evil. Like there's the good guys and the bad guys. But going beyond that, that's more interesting. That would involve, I guess, the idea of having an absolute hmm, that is beyond good and evil. Or perhaps it includes good and evil, but uh, that's a relative expression of the absolute, perhaps. So this physical plane perhaps is a relative expression, and The absolute is the real. But this is not so real. It's surreal. Oh well, that's it for now. I'll end the meeting for all and then go inside. I guess I can go inside the garage.